Hey guys, welcome back to another how-to video. This one's also going to be a little bit of a how-to and an informational video actually. What we're going to be covering today is how to fix a fast idle, and generally with our older Hondas it's actually caused by this piece, which is your fast idle control valve. It is it's a mechanical choke that automatically turns itself off if you kind of go by old terminology. So what happens with this guy, and actually once I open it up, we'll kind of explain how it works. So your throttle body sits this way and your firewall is over here. So this piece is sometimes a little bit of a pain to get to, but it can be done with a stubby screwdriver. These are 8mm screws. I think I tightened just a hair too tight when I put them back on. Get them to break. Okay. Break loose here. So generally when it's on the car, if you know what you're doing, you don't have to actually take both of them all the way off. I will sometimes just remove one and loosen the other so this guy swings out of the way. So this is what you find on the inside. There is a plastic kind of donut piece, and I might want to pull that out so you guys can see what it looks like. And we're going to explain how this guy works. Let's see if I got it out far enough. Okay, so the way this works, this piece generally stays in here. There's a spring, and further down inside here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see inside there. Anyway, you can't tell what's there, but basically it is a wax pack. This is supposed to have it spring loaded, and then this is kind of like your seal, and it's threaded. See if I can get it to focus here. There we go. So it's threaded here with a seal on it. So when your car is cold, this wax pack is also cold. And what happens, if you can see here, there's a hole right here. And when you fire the car up, obviously it's going to create a vacuum inside your intake manifold, and it's going to create and start sucking air through this hole, which goes in here, down into your chamber to basically this side right here. So it's actually going to be on this side of your little plunger, okay? With this all the way, basically, so with the vacuum on there, it will pull this plunger open just a little bit, enough to let the extra air that you need in to kick your idle up for a cold start, and also kind of a high idle while it's warming up. And it'll suck the air through there, and it comes out through this hole and into the inside chamber on the other side of your butterfly valve. What happens, and why we have high idle issues, is this guy, over the years, like the last 30 or so, will back itself out from vibration. And then what happens is it doesn't have a good seal. Let's see if I can get this guy to... It doesn't have a good seal against the center plunger, which lets in extra air all the time, even when the car is warm. So you basically, all you have to do is screw this guy all the way in till it stops, and you'll kind of feel it kind of bottom out a little bit. Don't crank on it too much, but there's two little slots where you can put a flathead and crank it till it's tight, and that plunger should look about like that. And what happens, and the way this is how this part is mechanical, is you'll notice there's a coolant line that attaches here, goes in here and out on this side. This coolant line, as your car warms up, heats up this wax pack that's inside here. When wax gets hot, like most things, it expands, pushes on that spring that you saw, which pushes harder on this plunger to seal it closed. Once it's closed, it doesn't let in that extra air, which slowly brings your idle down as the car warms up. That's pretty much how this guy works. So by this backing out over the last 30 years, it's slowly been letting in more and more air until the point where you start seeing that revving where the engine's trying to lower it using the idle air control valve, but it can't, and it throws an idle air control valve code when in actuality it's this. There's no sensor on this, so the ECU goes to the next thing that it has a sensor for, which thinks that the idle air control valve is actually bad. So always, if you guys have a fast idle issue, so when the car is warm and it's idling too high, and you've messed with pretty much everything else you can think of, which you shouldn't have to. Most of this stuff should be set from the factory unless you've done some crazy modifications. Don't forget to check this guy, tighten that guy all the way down. You can do it in the car. Like I said, you just need a stubby flat head to turn that in, and then that should fix your issue. You might have to do, if you played with your idle and a few other things, once you close this down, your idle might be too low, so you might have to adjust everything to idle it back up. But that's pretty much how this guy works. If you guys have any questions, make sure you post them below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Don't forget to check out any of my other videos. I'm going to try to do more of these how-to videos as I come across little things like this to show you guys in a video. Make sure you like and subscribe this video and hit that bell so you know anytime I go live. I'm going to be doing some Q&As here soon, as well as putting out more tech videos and stuff. So like, subscribe, and you guys have a good one.